Alpha Lab Sector 1 houses the elemental phase deconstructor and hydrocon systems, a revolutionary new technology that transforms raw materials native to Mars into usable resources. The primary EPD reactor feeds into the hydrocon processing system for transport to Sector 2 MFS refinement and storage.
Marine, I've received a report that you haven't reached Bravo Team yet. You need to pick up the pace. Can't wait for it. Reaching the communications facility quickly is imperative.
Right, hello there ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, and welcome back to Doom 3. We have entered the Alpha Labs. A little bit dark right now, the television monitors don't appear to be functioning, but it's okay, because Gary the janitor is not sleeping on the job, because if I look at him a certain way with my flashlight, there we go. I guess I have to stand back here because the light being too close to him, he doesn't really appreciate that. But good job, Jerry. You're doing a great work. A great service to us by keeping this place neat and tidy. This traffic cone, however, that's slightly bugging me. I wish I could use the power of Doom 3's physics engine to make that upright, but that is not an option. So let's just go turn on the lights instead and have the game giggle at us. That spawns a couple of zombies around the corner. Actually, they might very well just be there to begin with, or just being incredibly quiet. I really couldn't tell you, but you are getting a little bit lost. You should seriously cut that out. Let's get a move on. After turning on the lights, you want to run through the store and throw a grenade at this dude because he's a shotgunner, and shotgunners are awful. And once you run over there, then that's going to spawn a couple of machine gunners. Did I get both of them with that one grenade? No, I think I did. I'm really adept at wasting grenades, as you can plainly see, but again, not too much of a concern when it comes to ammunition in this game. Once you run to this corner, that spawns an imp behind you. This is zombie. Well, you can maybe give him a chance to slap you in the face, but I'm not going to allow that. This level kind of involves a bunch of running backwards. And it's not just with the case of, like, imps crouched behind doors, but you'll get a fine demonstration of what I mean by this after we kill those two security guards. Ow, there. Come on, there we are. You see, you can kill those two guards, and that's no problemo, but if you are particularly scared of zombie security guards and you run all the way back here, then that's just a dude sitting in the closet. That closet, we have no prior ways of actually opening that up, so he was just trapped in here for all eternity. That's a really depressing existence. A lot of the closets in the Union Aerospace Corporation are just, they all have some rather acute design flaws in that everyone just kind of gets trapped back there and turned into a zombie most of the time. Unfortunately, our path is blocked, and this is damaging us, so we should probably not stand here. So the only way through is by traversing the EPD elemental phase deconstructor thingy device. It kills things, especially living things, and that includes you. So do not stand within the laser. It's not a smart idea. In fact, we'll actually be collecting a personal data assistant, which has an audio log, and it gives a very entertaining tale about a dude who got the backside of his head shaved off by the laser. Fun for the whole family, right guys? It's Doom 3's family-friendly game. Let's get rid of that guy over there. There we go. And you, I can't hit things that are 2 feet in front of me with a pistol, in case you couldn't tell. It's a bit of a difficult task. But here's a video disc that corresponds with the television monitors that are talking about said laser device thingy, and here is that PD I was referring to by Kyle Berger. And the audio log in question is the only one on the file. It's nicknamed EPD Accident, and you can find the code 752. Now, the cabinet contains medical supplies, as noted by the distributor, but you never know when you need hand grenades inside a medical supplies cabinet. It's natural. Let's put that Schenken away. We don't need that for the time being. Well, let's get a move on now. Do not adjust your monitors. This is a completely natural occurrence within this universe, so just wait a little bit of time until the problem fixes itself and chairs are no longer flying in your face. This guy spawns. You can kill him with your shooty. And then you want to be careful because there is an imp around that particular corner. I'll see if I can hit him with a grenade. Well, it certainly alerted him of our presence on this Earth, or this planet. I wouldn't call this Earth, but it's a type of Earth. There's also a shield back here. But the gas doesn't want you to touch it. The gas doesn't hurt you, it's an effect meant to spook you. But let's go ahead and open the repair access grate, because that's really the only way we can go. We cannot possibly traverse that pile of junk which we passed by previously, because we're too bulky, I guess. I guess we are way too manly to be shimmying around corners and such. You just want to sprint right through this tunnel, open this hatch whilst crouching, and watch out for this guard because he has a machine gun. And machine guns are dangerous. Like, dude, did you see the effect that that gun just had on that guy? I have so much machine gun ammo right now that I should just use it on any zombie I see. Like, this guy, not even gonna aim for headshots. Just gonna shoot him. Let's also back up his files, just to be courteous to his ghost, who might still be watching this computer monitor. There we go, shutting down. It has absolutely no effect, but it's charming. It immerses you in the Doomiverse, and that's what's important. There's an imp around that corner. He tries to scare you, but he's just being playful, I find. Imps are really just playful creatures. They're really not meant to harm you whatsoever. Unless you try to give them hugs. They're a little antisocial in that respect. They just like to show that they're playful. And that is that. Let's just get rid of the zombies right there. Once you run to the center of this corridor, something is going slam in the background, and that causes this guy to spawn, and there's also a fatso right over here, and this dude who almost slapped me in the face. But there are also a couple of zombies which are completely optional, is that two guys in these little corridors right here who are only really alerted of your presence if you invade their territory, but they just slowly shamble along. There's also a zombie over there, but he takes a while to get to you, so let's go ahead and, yeah, let's just get rid of this guy right now. There's a button right there, but I'm going to show what that button deactivates, because this is the door which we need to pass through. But the fire will pretty much instantly kill you if you try to run through that, so the safest option we have is to, well, stop the gas leak. That's a natural thing to do. We have to play engineer because all of the engineers are just lazing about or turned into zombies. Mostly the latter. It's an unfortunate case of the deads, but yeah, what can you do? You also want to be careful of this guard around the corner, because he tries to hide right next to an explosive barrel. I question his methods of survival, but it's a thing that the zombie security guards do. Also, that closet opens up. It's a pretty large closet. It's got a security guard in here, and there's an imp right next to him as well and everything. It's got a health kit. Pretty much all the benefits you need. And the thing about killing those two enemies in particular is that if you decide that you're scared of them, and you have to run all the way back here, it spawns two more imps. Otherwise, you never really need to encounter these enemies. There's the first guy, the second guy appears over here. And we shall move on. The second instance of enemies just spawning far back behind you. It's a little bit annoying. You have no reason whatsoever to run all the way back there, but that's just the way the developers designed it. Right, pack of hand grenades right here. Also a guy who roars at you, because hey, those were my hand grenades, how dare you touch them! I'm so sorry, Mr. Imp, but I must move on and inspect that guy. He's not looking so great. And his screams beckon a herd of maggots, these enemies are called. They don't have a lot of health. They run up to you, they sort of lurch towards you and try to punch you in the face. It's pretty much all they do. They might also occasionally try to lunge like an imp. They're sort of a crossbreed between an imp and an enemy which we haven't encountered just yet. But because of their low health cap, and, well, they have to be pretty close to actually hit you in the first place, they don't really do a whole lot. Doom 3 has plenty of enemies like that, which you will be seeing fine demonstrations of. The door's not going to open, so instead we're just going to take the very spooky crawl space, which has a guy whispering at you, and an imp who doesn't actually have a hitbox, because I've tried blowing up those explosive barrels to kill him before, and instead it's mostly just killed me. But it has had no effect on that guy because he is just a model which you can phase through if you were on some no-clipping adventures like I've taken before. So there's the exit to this little crawl hatch space, but you can also pop up over here, pick up a couple of power-ups if you need them. I'm only missing 3 hit points, so I can't complain at the moment. I'm gonna ignore that shotgun. I don't need that shotgun. Shotguns are for wimps, even though I have one held out right now as we speak. Because the only times to use a shotgun are pretty much against every other enemy in the game, who is also a wimp. So the shotgun is used against wimps, I suppose would be the more proper terminology. So you could see there was a guard, all the way up there, and he's gonna take a very specific path. He's gonna run all the way over to that door and start sniping at us. But if you time it just right, you can throw a grenade at him and it becomes a non-issue. So let's move on. Jump over these floor panels. Like, they don't... It doesn't actually kill you if you fall down here. Those are just meant to spook you. But don't get impeded with your progress by suddenly finding yourself 1 foot, I guess, lower than anything. 1 foot shorter is the word I'm looking for. I'm sorry, finding the proper terminology in these situations can be very difficult because recording puts me under some pressure at times, and it's very warm in this room. I'm almost looking forward to winter in that respect because it means that I'll keep my room nice and toasty and I never have to worry about running a fan or anything. Anyway, you can see there's a bit of an odd effect going on with that area. There's a little flashing light, and that's because that is a closet. If you pick up these armor shards, that imp doesn't like it so much. And neither does his brother. But that is a strobe light closet. We want to keep away from that because the light hurts our eyes. And this staircase will crumble as soon as you walk over it. Fret not, however, it's not completely impossible to get back up because this is a video game and you can just run on the hand railings, so it's not really much of an obstacle. But let's continue on. Jump into this area, look at the fire, but more importantly, look at that button right there that says open security hatch. Now, hang on, I got a couple of monsters I need to get rid of first because they don't want me to open up that hatch. Hello, goodbye. So this is the security hatch in question. Hit the button. There you go. That opens the hatch. Get us a whole bunch of shotguns. And move on to this room, which has a dude sitting in the corner. And he kind of backflips. And we also get another video disc, but we haven't seen the video that corresponds with the disc, which is a pretty interesting occurrence. But that is for, I believe it is called the Hydrocon. The Hydrocon system is over there, and you can watch the video if you want a detailed explanation on how it works. I still don't fully understand it because video games, but you know how it is. There's a guy over there. That is one of them maggots. We haven't seen one of those in a bit, but you want to shoot him with the pistol? Like, you can kill him at 5 pistol bullets, so it's really not much of a threat. Oh, hey there, buddy. How's it going? I'm just gonna back up your files if you don't mind. Oh, I think he has a problem with that. Well then. Short-lived experience, but at least we backed up his files. I guess we were just considered the infiltrators, and he was acting kind of aggressively. He was like, no, I got things I need to do on there. Don't back up my files and shut things off, because, you know, you hit the backup button and then it completely shuts off your computer. That seems like a little bit of an odd mechanic to have, a little bit of an odd function to have in your computer system, but this is the future where everything has to be different.
Oh, you startled me. Man, am I ever glad to see you. I thought I was all alone. It's been freaking spooky lately. The Hydrocon's blown a few circuits and is unstable. Be careful of that gun. A stray bullet into the glass shields could blow the whole area. I'm gonna try and get this thing stabilized. I'll head to the science office when I have this under control.
Right, so there is some actual truth to that gentleman's statement right there. And to give a fine demonstration of that, first going to show you off these items. I need that 1 point of armor desperately, by the way. Is, the Hydrocon, yeah, the shields are a little bit unstable. If one bullet hits those, it sets the whole level on fire. And I do mean the whole level. So, of course, I'm going to show it off in this video because it's for fun. But there's a zombie right here. I'm actually going to refrain from killing him just yet because killing him directly spawns another enemy over there, and that is a shotgunner. I'm kind of amazed that none of the pellets actually hit me right there, but hey, if you're going for that non-hit run, then that guy may certainly never hit you. You can see, there's Campbell and Swan, but there's also these couple of dudes. So, to be honest, the issue with shooting glass shields never actually occurred with me for a long time when I first played Doom 3 and subsequent playthroughs afterwards, but there you go, I'm just gonna show you what happens. Yeah, it kinda does set everything on fire, so try to avoid that. Anyhow, if you move onwards, you can see that a contained explosion, that's perfectly fine. It's not going to react to any earth-shattering kaboom, but you can pick up the hand grenades, for one thing, and you can see that there is the staircase which we encountered previously, and we shall now move onwards. We could go to the door to the left, but unfortunately it's locked and there's nothing behind that door whatsoever. Instead, we are going to look at this video, just acknowledge that it exists because it talks about the Hydrocon, and we're going to duck right into this hatch that this guy crawled out of, because I want to give you a fine demonstration of Doom 3's artificial intelligence and how it responds when it can't seem to find the human player. Because it's kind of impressive. You get to see them run a couple of circles for a bit. They may occasionally try to shoot at you, but it doesn't have exactly much of an effect, you might say. And if they can't find you, they just kind of give up and go hide behind the door. So, you don't technically need to kill this guy, but it's still entertaining. Like, Doom 3 actually has some pretty impressive artificial intelligence for its time, where if there is a feasible path that an enemy can take, and you just decide to run away from it, it will follow you to the ends of the earth to try and kill you. It's honestly a pretty good artificial intelligence for what it's worth, and there's that lunge attack I was referring to. That is a thing that these enemies can do, but there are still very, very many different ways to exploit it. Like, if you hide underneath a little crawl space or underneath a set of stairs, then the enemy can't hit you, and for melee attack enemies exclusively like that, you can just stand on top of this box and watch all of those enemies just sort of run around this place not knowing what to do with themselves, which arguably makes them more difficult to hit unless you use grenades. But hey, that's gonna be the end of the level for now. Let's open up the elevator and exit Alpha Labs 1.